I'm going to end this topic on marriage. I don't hate women or hate marriage. I just didn't have the necessary skill set at the time to govern a successful marriage. I was born into a single parent home, suffered abuse from my mom and sister. Not seeking any pity, just stating the facts. At 9 years old, I was robbed at gunpoint for a pair of gym shoes. Suffered more abuse. Didn't, understand what was going on. Academically, I had a 1.5 GPA. I was in LD classes, learning disability from middle school, 3 years of high school. Upon graduating high school in 1990 with I believe, a 3.0. Shortly thereafter, I impregnated my girlfriend. And so at 19 years old, I became a father. Again, I didn't know what I was doing. I just based my fathering skills on trial and error as it related to my upbringing. So I was a pretty good father, damn good father. Not blowing my horn, again, just stating the facts. I was laid off from my job in 91, which led me to join the military. So after completing basic training and advanced individual training in 1992, I was stationed at Hunter Army Airfield in May of 93. A few months later, I get a phone call from the MPs informing me that my wife and son was there. I informed them I didn't have a wife, yet they instructed me to get to the MP station. I had another soldier give me a ride to the MP station as I didn't have a car at the time, and yeah, there was my girlfriend and my son. So I did the best I could. I had a handful of deuces for those who play cards. We resided in the guest house for a month, which was the maximum allowed. And then I informed my squad leader, and they found us a room in the barracks. And military personnel, you can understand how embarrassing and humiliating that was for me to be living in the barracks with my girlfriend and my son at 20 years old. So I began exploring options and asking questions, and some of the other soldiers informed me about what they call convenience marriages. Given the fact that you would stand to benefit financially, I knew that was the best option at that time, and that's the option I chose. So in September of 1992, I became a husband. I did the best I could. Again, I didn't have a male role model from 1 to 10. So it was chaotic. Her father was in and out of her life, and she was primarily raised by her grandparents during her teenage years. As a result of neither one of us having the appropriate skill set, infidelity became an issue. She initiated it. I'm not blaming her, but in the Army, that's some of what goes on when soldiers go on deployment. Again, I did the best I could with it. We had long periods of separation. Upon me leaving the military in 1999, I came back to Michigan. A few months later, my wife and kids arrived because she was in Wisconsin, and she arrived, and again, we were in the same predicament that we were in when I was in the military. So we did the best we could. She at the time had to go to a homeless shelter with the kids, and eventually we got enough money to acquire an apartment in Detroit. Again, neither one of us were in the position to be married, and we were doing the best we could. You know, I come from that cheaper to keeper era and secret lovers, so divorce wasn't discussed. Again, I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't know the damage I was causing myself, and we took it as far as we could go. Again, infidelity was an issue. She began a relationship with a married man for 20 years. I found myself in a relationship with a co-worker for about 10 years. I had to leave her alone due to issues I won't discuss, but I left her alone, repented, learned my lesson, spent some time being homeless. Just last year I purchased a home and tried to reconcile the marriage, and that just didn't work. It came to a abrupt end after what could be considered a prelude to domestic violence. So I filed for divorce and obtained a personal protection order, and we're now divorced. Again, I don't hate her. I wish her the best, and I will do all that I can to support her. But for the record, those are the facts. And anyone who has any questions, let me know, and I'll answer any question. I'm out.